Hello everyone from Tony the Scar Ghost. We are all excited for the upcoming launch of the Apple Vision Pro, and especially we are curious about its interface that is based on eyes and hand tracking. We have seen the videos that Apple shared, and we all read the reviews about tech um, journalists and influencers about it. It's interesting that, of course, we can try it, but we have a device that actually is a standalone and has eye tracking, with which something like that may be emulated. So a lot of us had the idea of trying to recreate a similar interface to the Apple Vision Pro on the Quest Pro. And this is something that the first video I saw about it was made by Thrill Seeker. He made this great experiment about it. But then others recreated the same experiment. And I got very curious of trying one of them because I was curious, first of all, to try this kind of interfaces. And then also to verify if the Quest Pro also could adopt something like that. So when a few days ago I saw that the company behind the Nova UI set of UI tools for Unity recreated this Apple Vision Pro experience on the Quest Pro and put APK for free online. I said, okay, that's my opportunity to try it and to verify how it works. So I will show you me using the Quest Pro to use this Nova Vision OS demo, and after that, I will comment about it.
So this is the application as it has been developed by the studio. And as you can see, you can try to, it tries to recreate the menu of the Apple Vision Pro, at least from what we saw from the video, because of course we don't know how it will really be when it will be shipped. So you can see that some icons are activating and I'm not doing anything with my hands or controllers. I'm just looking at them. So you're seeing, depending on what I'm looking, some icons are activating, which is nice. And the interesting thing is that exactly as it has been shown by Apple, when I click, you see this effect. This effect means that that is being activated. So just by looking and pinching, it's working. And I'm selecting everything just by looking with my eyes. So now I'm clicking on books, now on Safari, now on messages. And I can also drag this menu with my hands. You see, doing this movement. It's a bit weird that they put the same icons in the two tabs, so it's hard to see if you're on one on the other, but still it works. But interestingly, it works even with the hands on my lap. So you see I'm pinching and it's detected. So when I was seeing the video by Thrill Seeker, I thought that actually the Quest Pro wasn't able to detect this kind of pinching with the hands at rest because he was clicking this way with the hands in front of him. But actually, with the Quest Pro, it's already possible to have exactly this interaction. Why it's important to have the interaction with the hands on the lap? Because hands must stay at rest. Staying all the time with hands like this, like with HoloLens, would be very, very tiresome. Because well, we are not made to stay with hands like gorillas, unless you want to get onto monkey like this. While instead, we want to stay at rest, relax this way, and even pinching this way. You see, it's working. And this way, we can interact very comfortably with XR even on the Quest Pro. So, this demo has been great for me to showcase this. And pointing and clicking, I would say it works. But there is already something that is a bit pissing me off. So, it takes a little time to activate the object. So, like now, I'll go looking at camera and it takes a fraction of a second before activating really camera before I can click on it. So it's like the system is lagging behind me of a fraction of seconds, which creates me a bit of discomfort because while with the hands have the impression it's perfectly in time, you see, I don't know if you see it, but it's like instantaneous. Eyes move very, very fast, and the interaction here is not as fast. So if I go from home to podcast, I see the interaction moving slower than my eyes. And this is getting weird sensation in me. Other problem, it's really annoying seeing all these icons activating. Eyes are made to explore. So we are not using our eyes usually to interact with objects in real life. Usually we use the hands. They are made for interactions. Eyes are used to explore. So I look on my desk, I see what the tool have to take, and I take it with my hands. Here we're trying to use the eyes to interact, which is a bit strange regarding to what usually happen in life. So the problem is that when I'm trying to look around, see everything popping up, and it's confusing for my brain. What the hell is happening? I'm just exploring. Then I say, okay, I want to say settings, and it's okay for me that it activates. But now I'm speaking with you and don't want to activate anything, but you still see lots of icons moving, and these are just because my eyes are exploring. So that's not great. And there is another little problem, and is of accuracy. So the accuracy, which is things should activate when I look at them. And if I look at Safari, it should activate Safari. And this is all working. Of course, I calibrated my eyes on the Quest Pro. But when I try to look at the left toolbar, it's very unstable. So now try to look at the end. You see sometimes it glitches to eye, to podcast. And even more strangely, see when there is a misdetection with podcast, the podcast pops up, flashes because it activates. So flashing distracts my eyes. My eyes want to look at it. And so the misdetection is complete because now I don't look at the end anymore. And that's what I'm saying, that eyes may be a problem. When you see something flashes, your eyes look at that because maybe a danger. We're programmed for that. And instead, here is not ideal. So not always when I look at the left toolbar, the detection is correct, which is very, very annoying because my reaction of the brain is look better there, but how can I look better, So it's very, very strange. I think that this teaches me that you shouldn't put something in the periphery of the vision because that toolbar is in the periphery of my vision because the eye tracking is less accurate. This is something I verified even in the past when trying systems like 7 e-glass, DK2. Usually, eye tracking detections are better in the center area, and the periphery are less accurate. So that toolbar there sucks. Anyway, let's go to the end. And here, I think is really the worst moment to use UI based on eyes. So it's very cool that I can look at this toggle and activate them. I can drag that part. I can move all that is there. I can change the theme. So let me show you everything, by the way. I go to the retro theme. I'm pinching with my fingers, of course, sci-fi, dark theme again. Now I look at that bar and I can swipe. You see, I'm swiping this way with my hand. So swiping, swiping. Now I look at the other one, swiping. You see, it's very cool. I can activate some toggles and activate them. I can swipe also this, also with micro movements of my hands, and it works. And then I can drag this. I can even resize this and something like that. Anyway, you got the idea. You can do lots of stuff and just by looking, and this is impressive, and just like doing micro movements with my hands and looking at stuff, and everything works. It's really like magic. But again, something is a bit off for similar reasons than I said before. So first of all, misdetection. So sometimes when I'm looking here, I want to click. Actually, sometimes it gets detected as a micro drag with the hands. Okay, I mean, that's a little problem. Then my brain has kind of again of a visual overload. So I'm exploring and it keeps flashing toggle, toggle, toggle everywhere. Wherever I look, things are activating, things are flashing in front of me, and my brain is like, what the hell is happening? While wherever I look, things flash in my vision, which is too much visual, too much information overload for me. Plus the accuracy again, because sometimes when I'm looking at this toggle, I want to look one, it's like detects the other, you see, or I just have I close my eyes and something, and so my pupil moves slightly, and so I click another toggle and whatever. Then this resize, you have to look at the exact edge of the resize, quad to understand what you're resizing, which is not very comfortable. And basically, we have a similar situation than before. So visual overload, problem with detection, etc., etc. When it works, it's cool. I mean, it feels magic. But that's the problem when it works. This shouldn't work just sometimes, should work every time. Plus, the fact that I'm using my eyes as a controller, as I said, with my brain, and now knows the eyes are the controller, so tries to be accurate in looking at the right things, is making my eyes get strained. I can feel more fatigue to my eyes because now they're not there just to look, they're there also to look exactly things to activate them. So this is something that is not giving much comfort to me, which is problem. Now the other problem I was looking at the lowest toggle, but is the one above it that gets activated. So it's frustrating. Now I'm moving my head to look at that, and until the detection is performed correctly. So the third window is about the update, the about. So you can see Nova created this, compliments to them. By the way, also the link is clickable by looking at it. That's smart design. So let's say that this is the demo, and I think it highlights perfectly the pros and the cons of this kind of interface uh, made with a Vision Pro in mind, let's say. And that's why I think that the Vision Pro interface must be tried and not just seen on a video, because it's very important to see what is the effect on your real body.
So this demo has been very, very interesting for me, and I think I came out with a few interesting insights. So the first one, let's say the positive one that surprised me, is that the Quest Pro was able to detect my hand gestures even with the hands at rest on my lap. When Thrill published this video, I commented to him like, no way that it works on Quest Pro, because I saw his hands in the video usually like that in front of the eyes to make the click gesture, but actually he was right. It works even with the hands and the lap. So sorry, Trill, you made a great job in that actually. And that was great because it means that really we can recreate something like the Vision Pro interface on the Quest Pro maybe in the future. So because the eye tracking, hand tracking works as expected. And this was the first interesting thing. The second for me was what was my biggest worry came true. So this is the kind of interfaces which must be done very, very well. So I recall the words of my collaboration. When you do an input system, it must work every time. So no one will use a mouse that works 90% of the time. Imagine 1 out of 10 clicks get misdetected. No one will use that mouse because it will be frustrating. And here we are in a similar situation. So the system kind of works and it's kind of cool, but at the same time, every misdetection of my eye position, every misdetection of my click, which sometimes even happen, it's frustration because I expect this to work. And especially when I was looking at the toolbar on my left side, I totally hated when I was looking at something and something was not selected, but something that was around it was selected. I don't want something that more or less understands what I want to do. I want something that always understands what I want to do. And this is a problem. So if an interface like this must become the main one, like the Quest Pro, it should work every time. The third point for me is the tricks of eye interaction. So as far as I love eye interactivity, something I always remind everyone, the eyes are made to explore. In our life, we use eyes for exploring. And with these systems, eyes are used to select, but that's not the purpose they have in real life. So this is what worries me because my eyes get strained in trying to be a selection interface. My brain is confused. And then there is the Midas touch problem. While I look around, things get selected randomly, which is bad. There are a few things that should be done about that. One is, for instance, not flashing things while I just having my saccades movement. So wait a moment before selecting something. But the problem is that if you wait a moment, the IUX is not reactive enough, and so it's frustrating again. So you see lots of issues in this calibration of things. That's why a guy that worked on the Vision Pro highlighted how there is a lot of neuroscience studies about how they did that. So they analyzed the eye data to understand where you may look at later, why you're looking at something, etc., etc. That's why I guess the journalist that tried the interface reported it as amazing, because it's not just I take an eye position, an eye direction, and okay, selection. There is, in the Vision Pro, according to this guy, a lot of underlying studies of why you're moving the eye. So I guess the Vision Pro detects if you're just saccading around, it just don't select something. While if you are looking at something with an intention, it selects it. And this way things should work. And I, of course, want to try interface of the vision board to understand if this way, but now when looking at it, it was really like I move my eyes around, things flash, things flashing distract my brain, things flashing is like, oh, when I see something flashing, my eyes move in that direction. So it's like, not that great. So if at the end of the day, if you ask me if I would use this interface as is on the Quest Pro, my answer is no. Very openly, and not because Nova didn't do a good job. I think they did a great job, really, for being just a free demo to give to the community. Of course, it's marketing for them. I'm not saying no, but they made a great job, and it works very well for the tools they had in their hands. So kudos to the Nova team. But at the same time, it was kind of frustrating experience. My eyes get strained. It didn't always work as I wanted. It's no, I will really prefer to use controllers. It's much better for me at the current stage. So this proves that things in the interface side, if you want to use eyes, must be studied at a deeper level than just the eye direction. And this kind of interfaces must be studied, must be polished before they become mainstream. That's why I think Meta hasn't released something like that yet. It's not that they can't do that. It's easy to do that in a way. Is that they probably tried it and so it was not reliable enough. And as usual, this demo teaches us that seeing just a video on YouTube is not enough. Things should be tried with your body in VR and see what are the actual reactions. So this is my feedback and I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I will really like also to hear your feedback. So let me know what you think about this demo. If you try it, you of course know where you can find the link to download it. So thanks for watching and I wish you a good day in VR.